Following on from the news last month that Lakeland Dairies and LacPatrick Dairies are to merge into one co-op under the Lakeland banner, AgriLand asked suppliers from both co-ops what their thoughts are on the matter and how they feel about the merger going forward. Thomas Rogers is a Lakeland Dairies supplier from Carnans, County Cavan. He gave his reaction and thoughts on the matter to us.
The first talks about the Lakeland was a surprise that Lakeland was going down that route of a merger, but I suppose it was looked scary in the beginning. The war out there was a lot of debt and a lot of borrowings and a very badly run place. But the Region Committee met, the Lakeland Region Committee met, which I'm a member of, and when they went through the whole figures was teased out, it wasn't as bad as the story was. The debt is not that big, and the overall picture with Lakeland's performance and track record over the years, I can see no problems. And I say too as well that there's a few new products in the mix which I think will help Lakeland's basket of products, which should help to balance the price of milk and keep the milk price at a bit level on it is. It shouldn't be so volatile. So with that I'd be hoping there now that, but it will take time. And I suppose there is big savings. If you look at the maps where Lakeland is and LacPatrick's milk platform is, the map, there's bound to be savings made in cartage and rationalisation, which should, at the end of the day, could produce more money for the farmer. You'd be hoping that the cost base would be reduced and that it should help the price of milk in the long term. The merger is the way forward, and like the savings, a buyout has to be paid. If you have a merger there, you can what it costs in the buyout. I'd be hoping that the money is saved in the merger will benefit the farmer in the long term. I don't think the merger is going to affect milk price. People will say it will. Like global markets is going to affect milk price, and at the moment there's a lot of product about, and now it's not looking what you call real good for next year with the amount of product that's floating about. And I suppose you'd be hoping that with the merger that the cost base would be reduced, and that maybe some of this get more milk down that value-added chain, and hopefully take that volatility powder, which is the big powder and butter. Milk price is going to be under pressure. Volume is going to be there, unless there's control on volume, and there's environmental things coming in. I suppose, what do you do? The environmental issues there, I suppose, produce more, and everyone's trying to produce more, but more is not having. You know, if you have more volume and less price, like, it's what you want, a better price, and maybe stabilise the volume and get into a value add. The value added route's the way to go. Big is all right, but I think there has to be a margin. Whether you're making 100 cows or 500 cows, if you're having a margin for yourself, it's no good.
Thomas said he supports the merger and believes it will bring savings in the long run.
Transport is probably one thing. That there's crisscrossing on transport there, like, and that there has to be savings made there. Like 2 lorries going down the one road to lift 2 different suppliers. There has to be savings there. I know them savings won't come. They should come back to the farmer. They'll not come back initially, but over time, when it all pans out, that I think that Lakeland's cost base will reduce for producing the product, and the lower their cost base is, the more they be able to pass back to the primary producer.
We also spoke to Brian Treanor, a LacPatrick supplier in Emmyvale, County Monaghan. He gave his views on the merger.
Initially, it was a bit of a surprise that LacPatrick was financially in some kind of straits that we didn't realise, or we didn't really realise that we were as close to a financial sort of crisis as we were. That happened pretty quickly. But I think the board, in fairness to them, made a decision that in the circumstances they quickly decided that we should enter into talks with a view to merging with some neighbouring co-op. So while it was a bit of a surprise at the very start, I think the right decision was made, and I, on balance, was happy enough to go that way. Of course there's concerns in a merger. I mean, we've come through the process of a merge with Ballyrashane. We thought we were going the right direction, and I do think we were going the right direction, but unfortunately I suppose we invested too heavily at one just at the one time, and it became a bridge too far for us. And I suppose the concern would be that something similar could happen again with the new merger. Hopefully not. Lakeland has a fairly strong track record of mergers and getting bigger successfully, and hopefully that this can happen again, because I do think that LacPatrick is still a good company with a lot to offer to the new merged entity. I suppose the downside of it is that when you become part of a very big company, well then governance and decision making and all of that kind of thing becomes more remote from the individual farmer.
Brian noted that during the LacPatrick supplier consultation meetings on the merger, farmers expressed disappointment in how things had gone for the co-op. However, once these feelings had been vented, there was a realization that the merger was the right thing to do, he said. Asked if he believes the merger will affect his farm and his milk price, Brian was optimistic.
Well, I mean, I would hope that it will positively. I don't see any reason why it should negatively if it's a success. I mean, obviously there has been a process of consolidation within the dairy industry in Ireland for going back a number of years, and I think farmers would have even been in favour of a level of consolidation there in order to take out duplication and to bring greater efficiencies to the industry, and at the end of the day that would translate into better milk prices at farm level. And I would hope that the new merged entity should be able to generate greater efficiencies and so translate a better milk price to the farmer.